Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel, we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. And today we are doing something that I'm doing for the very first time on my channel, which is talking about fragrances. I don't often speak about fragrances on my channel because, to be quite honest with you guys, I do not feel anywhere near knowledgeable enough to really recommend anything to other people. But I thought that today, since I have gotten a lot of questions on it, because in the last couple months I've kind of like touched on fragrances here and there. People have asked me what my go-to fragrances are, typically what I like to go for as someone with my preferences. So this video is strictly my personal go-to fragrances. And I want to say again, I don't know a lot about fragrances, so I'm literally going to just be sharing with you guys my experiences, why I enjoy them, the occasions that I may wear them, and all of those things. So it's kind of more of like an entertainment type of thing. And hopefully we have similar preferences when it comes to fragrance. I do want to say that if you're looking for very, very good, very in-depth fragrance types of videos from people that genuinely know what they're talking about, my two favorite go-to channels are some of my friends. So we have Lauren May Fragrances. You may know her as Lauren May Beauty here on YouTube. She does have two channels, a beauty channel and a fragrance channel. Her fragrance channel is so well done. She's so amazing at describing scents. And then we have Leah Janae. Leah is a gourmand girly, but she does test out a lot of fragrances and she is constantly on top of it. Like, she is always reviewing the newest, latest, and greatest fragrances, and she does it so well. And she just like makes you want the fragrances that she's talking about because they all sound so yummy. So check them out if you want to see more in-depth, more knowledgeable videos about fragrances opposed to mine. So to start off the video, I kind of like broke this up into categories. I have a clean scent category. I also have a vanilla scent category. This is like my new exploration. And then I have my going out fragrances. To give you guys a little bit of background, I am someone who is very, very sensitive to fragrances. I typically will get a headache from many fragrances. There are a limited number of fragrances that I have encountered that I have yet to get headaches from. It's usually like eau de parfums because those tend to be a lot stronger than like eau de toilettes or just in general body sprays or something like that, you know? And eau de parfums usually will give me a headache within like the first 30 minutes or so. And I don't know why. I'm guessing it's just formulations. I've tried to kind of like narrow it down and figure out exactly what type of fragrances give me headaches, but it really can vary. So I think it's just like the core foundation of a fragrance that gives me headaches. I don't really know. So with that being said, a lot of my go-tos are going to be lighter scents. And if it's not an actual light scent, then it's going to be a scent that doesn't last as long on the skin. I typically don't go for super long lasting fragrances on a day-to-day basis because of that headache issue that I tend to have. Because if I'm able to kind of customize different fragrances that don't irritate me and like layer them to make a different scent, I think that's more of the direction that I should go. Now, to talk a little bit about my preferences, I don't really like gourmand scents because those seem to trigger the headaches very quickly, except vanilla scents don't seem to bother me too much, and they're my favorite type of quote unquote gourmand type of scents. I can't wear fruity scents because they tend to turn kind of like sour smelling on my skin. So everyone's body chemistry, their pH levels, and their warmth all react differently to different fragrances, which is why one fragrance might smell completely different on you than it does to somebody else. So that's just a little background. I'm sure you guys know that. I started to get really into fragrances earlier this year, so I would say it started around maybe February-ish, and I've slowly been collecting a collection here. And like I said, a lot of these are going to be body sprays, but I like to kind of like layer them with different fragrances, but we'll get into that. So the first category I want to get into is vanilla. I don't have too many of these, but the ones that I do have in this category, I love. Firstly, we're going to talk about Phlur Vanilla Skin, and recently they came out with an eau de parfum, like an actual fragrance, and before that they only had a body spray. They had a body spray for much longer than they did the perfume. The notes on this are pink pepper, pink apple, sugar crystals as the top notes. The heart of it is lily, jasmine, petals, and cashmere wood. And the base of it is benzoin, vanilla, sandalwood, and agarwood. And it's going to be the same thing on the Vanilla Skin Eau de Parfum, except this is going to have a lot longer of a lasting power. And these, to me personally, do smell identical. I know some people were a little concerned that the body spray and the Eau de Parfum were going to be slightly off from each other, but for me, I think that they smell identical. So this to me is going to be more of a warm vanilla. It's more of a grounded, almost spicy type of vanilla scent versus being a sugary crystal type of vanilla where it's like icing on a cake or vanilla frosting type of thing. This has tiny bits of like spice. I think a lot of it comes from like that pink pepper and from the sandalwood that's in here. I just really love how this feels more of like a complex type of vanilla. So for me, it doesn't feel overpowering. It doesn't turn weird on my skin. And I really enjoy the fact that I can use both the body spray and the eau de parfum without getting a headache. I like to spray the body spray all over, clothes included, and then I will spray the eau de parfum just on like my pressure points or my, is that where you spray it? Are they called pressure points? I don't know what they're called, but like right here, the inside of your elbows, the insides of your wrists, behind your ears, like those areas that tend to warm up and like shoot off the scent. I'm really, really bad with fragrance definitions, if you guys can't tell. I will say, even if I don't layer these two together, this does tend to be one of my longer lasting fragrances. I find that vanillas in general do sit really long on my skin. So whenever I do layer these together, I smell it all throughout the day and I can like be walking around and just get light whiffs of it and people around me will also be able to smell it. And I really love Phlur. I have a couple of their fragrances in this video. I just love this fragrance house. They are so incredible to me. I feel like their formulas just work really well with my body chemistry. A lot of them work to where I don't get those headaches, and I've been a really big fan of a lot of their fragrances that I've tried. Next up, we have what I would consider the start of my perfume, my fragrance journey, and this is actually one from Target. This is the Being Frenshe Cashmere Vanilla Hair, Body, and Linen Mist. Now, this is actually Ashley Tisdale's line. And like I said, her line is sold at Target, so you probably have seen it before. And this is such an incredible, beautiful, almost sophisticated like vanilla. It's completely different than the Phlur Vanilla Skin. So if you're kind of debating on if you need both, I will say that both of them are quite different. This one I think is going to be a lighter, cleaner type of vanilla, while the other one is going to be more of that warm, grounded, spicy vanilla. The notes on this one is cozy vanilla, toasted jasmine rice, warm amber, and creamy musk. Now, I am absolutely obsessed with the fact that this has toasted jasmine rice in it. There's another fragrance in here that does have rice in it. Are we surprised? I am not surprised at all. I feel like the rice to it almost feels nostalgic to me. I am Filipino, so almost all of my meals do include rice. I love my white jasmine rice. So for me, this almost smells very nostalgic, a little homey, And it smells like clean sheets and a slight hint of vanilla that for me again is not too sugary sweet. I feel like the rice in here, the musk in here really tend to balance out the vanilla that is the majority of this. And this is definitely going to be one of my lighter scented body sprays. This does not last very long at all on the skin. I would say at most I get maybe 2, maybe 3 hours of this before I feel the need to spray this again. Now I will say with body sprays, if you do tend to spray it on your clothes, of course it's going to last a lot longer than if you spray it like on your skin where you're like sweating it and emitting, I don't know, what are you emitting? I do find that even if I douse myself in this fragrance, it doesn't really irritate me too much. I do tend to get headaches though, even with my lighter body sprays. If I spray it on, in one spot and I just sit there forever. Like I have to spray it on, walk away, and just like go on about my day. But if I like spray in that area, I can't spray myself in the car either because that will immediately give me a headache no matter what. But anyways, I really enjoy this one. I also have the roller ball of this. They have like the essential oil roller ball. So I can also layer this body spray with that roller ball. It does tend to make it last a little bit longer, but still it's going to be one of the ones that is not the longest lasting on my skin. But I absolutely love this. I think that it smells incredible, clean, slightly sweet, slightly musky. This is just an all around really well balanced, yummy vanilla scent for me. Next, we have this Sol de Janeiro 59 perfume mist. This one I think was one of the ones that they released this past year. And again, this is going to be more on the sweet side. And for me, this is different enough from those other two vanillas. I think that these three really definitely cover like my vanilla category in a really rounded out way. So this one has, where is it? Uplifting notes of vanilla orchid, sugared violet, and sheer sandalwood. So we still have that sandalwood in there, which for me, again, I think that it really grounds that vanilla. But this vanilla orchid, it does seem to kind of bring in a slightly floral note to this fragrance. And out of the three vanillas that we've talked about, this is definitely going to be the sweetest scented one, but still, I think I can get away with wearing this. I'm not going to like douse myself in this one the same way that I might with the Being Frenshe one, because that one brings in a little more of an element of clean, while this I think is more of my truer vanilla scent. But there's something about this, it's still a very warm vanilla, definitely not like a gourmand or anything. And I think having it mixed with those floral notes and that sandalwood, again, really grounds the vanilla scent, and it just warms up very, very nicely on the skin. This is a nice one to layer if I'm wearing something, I don't know, that might be a little more spicy or a little bit more musky than I wanted that day. Then I'll just do like a little spray, a light spray of this, and it warms up and it layers really well with a lot of fragrances. So this is another really good one, and those are all of my vanilla scents, and I'm just truly in love with all of them. Next up, we have our clean category, and when I say clean, I mean like my everyday fragrances, something that's a little bit more musky and more skin scented. I always enjoy those types of fragrances, and those for a very long time were what I thought were the only type of fragrances that I liked. So this is going to be like our biggest category, even though it's not that large. Firstly, we have this Australian brand called Who is Elijah, and it's the scent Muse. They sent this to me, I think, sometime last year. Like they sent me their discovery kit, and Muse specifically, just looking at the description of this one, I knew was going to be my favorite one. So this is described as a solar scent. I don't know what that means exactly because you have fruity, you have floral, you have solar, you have woody. What is solar? Is that just clean? Because there's a couple of fragrances that I have really enjoyed that are labeled solar. I don't know. But this one says it has notes of warm floral, jasmine absolute, ambergris, ambroxan, dry musk, woody, amber, agarwood, and moss. So a lot of woody, spicy scents in this one, but somehow it still smells very uplifted. It's not too spicy to where it smells like a cologne. This one says that it's a unisex scent. I could see men wearing this, honestly, but it would definitely be more of a lighter cologne on a man. So I use the site Fragrantica. What is it? Oh my gosh. Fragrantica. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. That doesn't seem like how you're supposed to say it. But I'm sure if you guys like fragrances, you know what I'm talking about. It like gives you a breakdown on the notes, and it kind of like has people rank what they think about the longevity, the sillage, the price point, the gender, all of those things. So I pulled this directly from that website. So this one, majority say that it has a moderate longevity on the skin. It has an intimate / moderate sillage, which I learned that sillage means how much this fragrance puts off, like when you walk by, basically, how much of a trail it leaves. And I was like, wow, I never knew that was a definition. I knew it was a thing, but I never knew that there was a definition for it. Go figure. And like I said, it's described as a unisex fragrance. So I do agree. I do think that this has moderate longevity, especially being an eau de parfum. Just overall, compared to my body sprays, this one is going to last a lot longer just because the nature of the product. I would say for me, I don't really feel the need to touch up whenever I wear this. Like I'll spray it once before I leave and then I'm like pretty much good to go for the rest of the day. I'll kind of smell it and have whiffs of it throughout the day. I do think that this has right in between an intimate to moderate sillage. I've only had like maybe 2 to 4 encounters where people were like, "Ooh, you smell good. What is that?" without giving me like a direct hug. Other than that, when they say I smell good and I have this on, it's like because we hug. So I would say it's right in the middle of the intimate, moderate sillage for sure. And like I said, I do agree that I think this is kind of a unisex fragrance, but I really love this. I think that it smells incredible. It just smells clean. This to me smells like you freshly showered, you did an everything shower, you did all your lotions and your serums and your concoctions and everything, and you're ready to just take on the day. It smells slightly summery to me. I would say that just based on what I know about people that love fragrances, this to me seems like something someone would wear on vacation or, like I said, like an everyday fragrance. So this is also a really nice one to layer as well. If I were to layer this with something, maybe I would go for something a little bit more like spicy or woody to kind of like give it more of that element versus something like sugary, you know? So I really, really enjoy this one. I also have a travel size of this one, and every trip that I've taken this year, I have taken my little travel size with me. 2 more body sprays that I would consider clean, and I've talked about both of these in my duping undupable videos. These are both from Bath and Body Works. This one is If You Musk from Bath and Body Works, and this one simply is musk. Now, both of these, like I said, are to me lighter dupes of different fragrances. So If You Musk is a great dupe for Glossier You. It smells pretty much identical. It's just a lot lighter. And the notes on this are iris, pink pepper, and airy musk, which are the notes in Glossier You plus some, you know. This does have a really beautiful skin scent to it. It sits really well on my skin. This definitely has a little bit more of a spicy scent when it comes to Glossier You as well as this body spray. So I would say if you like more of that spicy scent, this is a good one, and it just sits really nicely on the skin. It warms up very well. This has very little longevity though, not only because it's a body spray, but also I think just the nature of it. It just kind of like melts into my body chemistry somehow. So I do find myself respraying this throughout the day on my skin, but it does linger on the clothes for sure. And then musk is from Bath and Body Works as well, and this one is a direct dupe for La Papier from Diptyque. This one says it's musk, mimosa flower, and rice milk. This is the other fragrance that I was talking about that does have that rice element to it. So again, for me, this smells super nostalgic. This smells like a creamy blend of mimosa and rice. Like if you were sitting and you were having a really beautiful brunch and there was like flowers all around you type of thing. It just smells clean. It smells light, but there's just something about this that makes it so sophisticated in my opinion. So I really enjoy these. These are completely different from each other. So if you want one or the other, I would say smell both of them. See which one you enjoy. But yeah, they smell completely different to me. Again, this just smells like fresh out of the shower, about to have brunch type of thing. Another body spray, I wasn't lying when I said I love my body sprays, but this is from Buff City Soap, and it is the Narcissist scent. Buff City Soap is a small soapery. Is that a word? I don't know where that came from, but I feel like that's a word. But you know, they sell soaps, they sell bar soaps, body soaps, they sell bath bombs, shower fizzies, and laundry detergents. And I use their Narcissist laundry detergent. I used it for quite some time before they came out with the body spray. So when they came out with the body spray, I knew I had to snatch one up. It says that the notes on this are patchouli, sandalwood, raspberry, and peach. When I first saw that it was a peach scent, I was like, there's no way this is peach, but you can definitely smell the peach through the patchouli and the sandalwood. So as you can imagine, it's not a fruity scent whatsoever. If you search for it, you can definitely smell it. But for me, I think that this pulls very woody with a slight uplifting note of fruit, but the fruit doesn't like go weird on my skin. And because I use their laundry detergent, this just kind of just organically works on me. Whenever I wear it, it just sort of amplifies the detergent scent. I have the detergent, the laundry booster, I have the car freshener, and I have this one. I'm just thoroughly in love with this. Me and my girlfriends, we all use the same laundry detergent scent because it's just that good. It's very, very good. I highly recommend, if you have an opportunity to smell this one, go and smell this. It is, for me, a more complex fragrance to where I don't feel the need to really layer this. So I just super enjoy this one. And my husband actually also sprays this on himself because, like I said, it does smell like our laundry detergent. So sometimes he'll just spray it so it enhances that. Okay, another eau de parfum that I have is from Dedcool, and this is the fragrance Milk. These are described as being layering fragrances because all of the fragrances in this house are meant to either stand alone or be layered. None of them are not going to work layered, you know what I mean? So Milk's top notes are bergamot, and middle is white musk, and the bottom note is amber. So, like I said, I did use that website to kind of look at what people rated this as. And most people said this is a moderate to weak longevity. It has an intimate sillage and it is a unisex fragrance. I do think, again, this is a unisex fragrance. I think that this would work even better than Muse. For me, I think that the sillage on this one is more moderate because I've gotten more compliments wearing Dedcool Milk than I have with Who is Elijah Muse. So I feel like this one, maybe because I find that I can be a little bit more heavy-handed with this, the sillage is a lot longer. So I would say that I get moderate longevity out of this. And this is another one that I have taken on all of my traveling that I've done thus far this year. And I plan to take with me up until I finish this. I just truly, really love this one. And it's one of those eau de parfums that do not bother me. I think because it tends to, I don't know if this is a good descriptive word, but it feels like a thin fragrance. Like it doesn't feel like it just sits like a cloud on my head where I feel like I'm going to get a headache. This one by far is the least likely to give me a headache when it comes to eau de parfums. There's something about it that feels nice and light and airy, but it still has such a beautiful, clean scent to it. And it's not clean as in like laundry detergent or linen. When I say clean, I don't really mean like it smells like laundry, you know? I don't really like linen scents actually, but this one, I'm having such a hard time explaining other than what the notes are. But I find that whenever I want to layer fragrance and play around with it, this is one of the very first fragrances that I'll layer with something I'm playing with because it seems to just work really, really well with a lot of different notes. There is also extra milk, which I'm very curious about. I don't know how different that is. If you guys have experience with it, please let me know. But so far, I really like this one, and this is definitely one of the fragrances that I'm considering buying the full size for. All right, and now we have our going out fragrances. So one that I do not have with me, and it's kind of driving me crazy because I think I lost it. I have no idea where it's gone, and I'm a little bit nervous about it because I am going on a trip pretty soon. And if I don't find it before that trip, I'm definitely purchasing a travel size to take with me because this is a must for me. I'm talking about Phlur Father Figure. This is another Phlur fragrance and it's an eau de parfum. And oh my goodness, this one is the most interesting, most complex, most delicious, juicy fragrance that I think that I own. So Phlur Father Figure is described as an earthy and woody fragrance. The scent type is warm woods, and the keynotes are lush fig, jasmine dew, and sandalwood. I'm realizing now that it seems like I like sandalwood a lot. It just, I guess it works really well for a lot of fragrances that I enjoy, but the fig in this, I don't know if I've ever actually consumed a fig, and I don't know if I've ever smelled a scent with fig before this one, and I've smelt ones since this one, but nothing really hits the same as Father Figure for me. So this one smells like a lush green, vivid forest type of thing. It's super juicy. It has that light fruity note to it, but it's super grounded down with that sandalwood and I guess that jasmine dew. And I think the jasmine dew really gives it this like almost minty without being minty fragrance, you know? Like it has this very light, airy scent to it. But if I want to go a little bit dramatic with my makeup, if I'm going out like to the bars with my friends, or if I'm going to like an intimate dinner with my husband, I will reach for Phlur Father Figure because it just gives that very special occasion type of scent. But don't get me wrong, I have worn this on an everyday basis because I have loved it that much. And I don't tend to do heavier scents like Phlur Father Figure, I guess like heavier scents where I mean like more complex scents on a day-to-day basis, but it's to the point where like I've craved smelling it, so I've sprayed it on myself. So it's such a good one. It's one that I never expected to actually enjoy, but I actually smelled it on a couple of my friends during the Creators and Friends trip back in April, and I just kept smelling it and it smelled slightly different on everyone. And I was like, what are you wearing? You smell so good. And it was always Phlur Father Figure. And I was like, okay, at this point, I just got to get my hands on this fragrance. And I have not looked back since. So yeah, you can understand probably why I'm a little bit like getting a little antsy that I can't find it. So I may just have to buy another travel size, unfortunately. I wish I didn't have to, but my saving grace is that I'm like, well, when I do find it, I will have another one, and I know I'm going to be using both of them. Another Phlur fragrance is Missing Person. This is an eau de parfum as well. This was actually my very first Phlur fragrance, and I was recommended this because I was looking for alternatives for Glossier U. Now, I will say that this to me is not a dupe for Glossier U. However, it's a very similar fragrance. So if you like Glossier U, I can't imagine you wouldn't like Phlur Missing Person. This seems to be a controversial one though. Some people say it smells horrendous and like terrible to them. And then other people are like, it's the best fragrance I've ever smelled. For me, I feel like I'm more leaning towards I love it, but I'm not like dying obsessed. I need to replace it the same way I am with Father Figure. This one I'm almost done with. And for a long time, I actually didn't touch this after purchasing it because I was going through like a skin reaction thing and I was slowly eliminating every type of fragrance before I could figure out what was irritating my skin. I picked it back up this last like 6 months or so, and I'm almost done with this one. This is actually included in my Project Pan. And if you guys are not familiar, I am doing a Project Pan for this year, so check that out if you're interested in seeing what I'm trying to empty and pan. But I added this one because this is a scent that I can see myself wearing on a day-to-day basis, but also going out. And I put it in the going out category because I tend to reach for this more often whenever I'm going out. Missing Person is so interesting. This one is in the warm and spicy fragrance family. The scent type is warm and sheer, which yeah, it does make sense that it smells sheer. It almost smells like a veil of fragrance. I don't know. And the keynotes are skin musk, bergamot nectar, and blonde wood. So you get that woodiness to it, but you still have that musky skin scent. I love a good skin scent. I love something that kind of just like melts into my body chemistry and just sort of projects itself naturally. It just seems like almost like you could just smell like that, but no one actually just smells like this. You know what I mean? But it's almost like an undetectable type of fragrance where you're walking around and someone might be like, wow, what is that? Is that someone's perfume? Or is that like a room spray? Or is that like flowers out and about? You can't really pinpoint this scent. And again, this one I think is one of the more neutral scents to where you can layer it with a lot of different fragrances. You can layer this one, I would say, with something floral, woody, spicy, fruity, really any category, and it would kind of just like magically work with all of them. So I really like this one. I don't know if I would repurchase this right away just because I feel like I have a lot of fragrances right now that I want to go through. So while I enjoy this, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it until I finish it because I know I'm going to finish this, I think that this might be one that I can kind of like hold off on for a little bit after I finish it. One more body spray, but it's in my going out category, is going to be St. Barts from Ouai. This one they released in the last few months, and everyone was super excited because this first came out as a body butter and a body scrub. And I think they also have like a shampoo or a scalp scrub or something like that. Oh, actually, the body scrub is the scalp scrub. But this is just a tropical paradise. It is my only fragrance, I think, that I would consider as a tropical fruity scent. And it smells like pineapples. It smells like creamy coconut. And it also has a little bit of like woodiness to it, or I like to think it does. So the notes are dragon fruit, orange blossom, tuberose, and musk. Again, with the musk, I think the musk really just grounds a lot of the fragrances for me and it makes it very bearable. This I have to be a little bit careful with because if I spray way too much, which I have the tendency to do because it seems like it's going to be such a light fragrance, then I can get a headache. Like I have to spray this maybe 10 minutes before getting in the car because if I spray it right before getting in and then we start driving, I'm like, my head hurts. But aside from that, it's a beautiful summer fragrance. I don't know if this is one that I would carry on with me in the winter time, but for me, I feel like if I spray this in my hair, it'll smell like a shampoo or something like that. Like it doesn't just stick out like a sore thumb type of thing. But I love this one. I think this is such a great pickup. I think that it might be limited edition. So if you're thinking about getting it, maybe get your hands on it. I'm not entirely sure though. If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. And if you use this with like the body butter and then you spray it all over, it lasts a pretty long time on the skin. It may be because I do like to be pretty generous with this one. But yeah, I would say the sillage on this is pretty strong. Like most people can smell this on you if you're like walking by or if you like say hi or you're hanging out with friends. Most people can smell this on me. So I really, really like this one. And this is more of like a I have to be in the mood for it type of thing. Like if me and my friends are going to like, I don't know, a rooftop bar, or if we're going to have a picnic at the beach or something, or if I'm going to a barbecue, like this is what I would probably reach for. And lastly is one, I only have like the little tiny sample vial, and I'm determined to get this because I love it, but wow, is this expensive. It is the original Diptyque La Papier. It's what dupes that Bath and Body Works Musk body spray. So the notes on this one, very, very similar to the body spray. It's white musk, mimosa, blonde woods accord, and rice steam accord. Now, people say that this has a moderate longevity and it has an intimate sillage. I think, yeah. It's hard for me to say exactly because I don't have the luxury of spraying it all over and seeing how it does. I have just like the tiny little vial that I dot on to like my wrist and the inside of my elbows and stuff. But the way that this fragrance pretty much smells like this, but an even more rich, complex version of it, or just, I guess, like, for lack of a better term, like heavier fragrance version of this one. Like, same notes, it smells the same, but this one smells like if you were to have, like, actually put water in the Diptyque one, this is what you would come out with, but it just smells incredible. And again, it kind of like feels like a homey, nostalgic type of fragrance for me. I love the rich, like warmth that it has to it, but it's not super heavy at all. And it smells like something that I would personally love to make my signature scent because it just, I don't know, the way that it sits on my skin, it feels so natural and it just smells so clean and it seems like one that I would just never tire of. So one day I hope to own that full-size fragrance, but man is Diptyque expensive. Let me tell y'all. I bought actually the Phlur de Peau. Is that the fragrance that's supposed to be similar to Glossier? There's a fragrance from Diptyque that's supposed to be very similar to Glossier You, but people describe it as the Glossier You's big sister. So I purchased that during like a Nordstrom fragrance sale very spontaneously, and I felt like a little bit pressured to do it because I was like, oh, it's supposed to be even better than Glossier U and I want a better Glossier U. But I just couldn't justify it. I couldn't keep it. I got it and I was like, I have to return this because even on sale, this thing's so expensive. So yeah, that's my little Diptyque story. Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about this, like talking about fragrances. I know that everyone is kind of really getting into the fragrance era, and me included. I thought that I was just naturally, organically getting into fragrance, but in all honesty, looking back at it, I'm like, oh, maybe I subconsciously was getting influenced to start getting into fragrances. I'm not quite sure, but I'm not hating it. I think it's super fun to like layer fragrances and learn what I like on me and really just like enjoying fragrances for once instead of just completely avoiding them because I was afraid of the intense headaches that I was going to get. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys liked this video and you enjoyed it and you want more, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.